What's going on, everyone? Yes, today is another toy review, and yes, the man/monster that stands in front of you is known as DevilMan, also known as Amon. Now, this character here comes from a long, epic running series, which is from a manga, from a OVA anime, and from a live action film. Now, if you've never seen anything about DevilMan, I will honestly say definitely check out the old school OVAs, which I think was done in '86, I believe, and check out the new school manga, which is called Amon. But outside of that, this figure here is Nirasawa version, and this is a MegaHouse toy, and this is their Variable Action Heroes line. Now, this is my very first version from this toy line, and my very first experience with this toy line. Now, I do have another DevilMan figure, and I had DevilMan figures before even that, and I'll tell you which one that actually still kind of reigns supreme in my book. But let's go ahead and jump into this toy review, and as always, let's go ahead and look at a full 360 of this character. So as for details and sculpt, he looks nice. Now, scope wise, it's excellent. Paint job, I'm gonna be honest with you, don't like it. Not meaning the choice of colors, I'm talking about the lack of. So if you notice, his skin tone is highly detailed, looks really nice painted, because it brings out all of the muscle structure and so forth. But when you look at his armor is just straight up purple. That's it. Like, there is no highlights or darks. You're just dealing with a very simplistic coat of paint. Let me bring him in closer for y'all so y'all can see. So like I said, I honestly believe this figure could have been done much better when it come down to how they did the paint. Because like I said, look how good his skin look. Like the light blue looks amazing. Like, it really brings out all the muscle structure. You can see the spinal cord and so forth. But when you get to the purple, it's just like, like, look at that. Like, they used mainly the sculpture to capture shadows. Some cases that actually works really good. In this case, I'm gonna be honest with you, not so much. I just feel like I kind of got cheated. There we go. All right. Now let's go ahead and look at size comparison real fast. Let me focus for y'all. Alrighty. So bring him back a bit. This figure has to stand about 7.5 inches tall or 8 inches. It's either one or the other. Unfortunately, I don't have a ruler around me, so I didn't really get the chance to actually measure it. But I will say, just off of eyeballing it and then knowing the sizes of the other figures around him, I'm pretty sure he's 8 inches though. So he's a nice little size on him. Alright. So this is a Figma Guts you see next to him, and that was a Mezco Scorpion. Now, as for your accessories coming from this particular toy, I'm going to be honest. As always, the accessories for this figure is very weak. You get practically next to nothing, and for his price range, I expect more. You have Figmas, which is roughly around 40 to 60 bucks. That comes with a slew of things. You have NECA figures that come with a lot. You have Revoltech figures that come with a lot, and then you have this figure, which is, I think, in a $100 range, maybe a little bit over. And he comes with next to nothing. So I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, they did show photos, but you know, sometimes you get little surprises. You get extra stuff in the box that you didn't expect to get. In this case, that was not the case. What you seen is what you got. So you only gonna get 2 set of hands, which is the ball fist, and the other is like action pose or relax hands. Now the relax hand scope actually looks really nicely done. Still lazy paint job on it. No real details actually being brought out. It's just a sleek, like purplish black. The relax hand is actually made really nice for the most part. His ball fist, on the other hand, in my personal opinion, I don't like the scope. The fist looks pretty terrible actually. It's really bony and it's really, look at the shape of it. Like it almost looks like he's holding his hand like that. Like it just looks bad, honestly. Very small, but it is what it is. So you get that. What also comes separate in the box, let me take it off real quick if I can get this shit off. There we go. His tail comes separate in the box as well. Now the tail is nicely sculpted. Looks really, really good. Once again, paint job, just purple. And then you're gonna get 2 set of wings, a right and a left. Now the wings, besides the purple part, I actually like. So let me go ahead and bring these wings out a bit. You do have a hinge on the peg, so you can move it like that. You can move it like that. In this case, I'm gonna be honest with you, this particular or specific rather, this specific style of bend, in my personal opinion, it's kind of stupid. The reason I say that is because, okay, this is clearly like a bone, right, that holds the stuff together. Why would it disconnect from another bone? Yeah, wasn't really thought out too well. But okay, so that's there. Now let's go ahead and jump into his articulation. Now, the articulation on this figure, it's probably by far the best part of the figure. You get a lot of range dealing with this toy. So his head is on a ball joint. You can tilt about that much without using the neck. If you use the neck, you get about maybe that much to the side. Going about that far, which is also really nice. Looking up, you get about that much. Alright. Now looking down, you get a full motion looking down. Really nicely done. You can look left and right. Be careful if you don't want no paint to rub off, because on that neck part it is pretty tight, but it's fine. You have ball joints attached to hinges. The hinge goes about that high up. The ball joint obviously can do a full 360, and if you use the shoulder joint, which is also nicely done and sculpted into it, you can push the arm forward about this much to the point you can cross his arm across his chest. Alright. Coming down, you have a swivel in the bicep. Alright. Now, I will say, over the little bit of me moving this figure around, this does seem to get somewhat loose, so be careful, because you probably don't want to make it too weak. But you do get a swivel at the bicep. You get a double hinge elbow with a nice range on it. Alright. Coming down, you have a hinge, and it can swivel, of course. Now, I do like one thing they did paint job wise, which was really unique. They actually put the slashes that's normally inside DevilMan's chest as the joint itself to kind of hide it a bit. So that was pretty neat. Nice choice. Right here at the abdominal, you can lean about that much forward. You get about that much back. You can turn on a full 360. And it is like a softer plastic, so don't be nervous. You can definitely do it. Coming down, you have a swivel here. Now, this is where the articulation becomes kind of stupid. So let's go ahead and come down a bit. I'm gonna show you something. So this is where they really made two bad choices or unnecessary choices. The first bad choice is that, so you got a joint here, you got a joint here, right? Which you're not getting too much of a bend. Well, the reason why you can't get too much of a full range of motion in this bend, because they decided to run his peg directly through this purple plastic, because this is actually just a thin piece of soft PVC. It runs through that plastic into the actual light blue part of his body. So why would you do that? So you're actually causing the body not to be able to rotate here due to the fact that the peg clearly cannot move side to side due to that tight fit. So you actually gave us a joint that don't even work. Yeah, that didn't make any sense. Now, if you lift him up, you can see here, there his ball joint hole. So if you notice, how is the body not falling off? Well, that's why. You see the peg back there? It's moving. It's because it's latched on through that. So you gave me a ball joint that I can't even utilize. Like, I can lean with them, right? So you can get a good lean. I will give you that much, right? But anything else, it's not happening. No forward, no back. You stuck due to the peg joint. So that was not really well thought out. Now, coming down to his hips. So you may have this problem, because I had this problem on both of them. I bought two of these particular figures, and what I don't care for, so they made this design where his hips extend on these kind of like these it's not ball joint, oh maybe it is, yeah, it's a ball joint going to the thigh on a long rod. You can see it right there, and it poses, you know, when you do poses like that, but that still looks weird. And they could have just made it like flaps and just made it soft, and you wouldn't have to put that particular part there. That just kind of made like an extra part that can possibly break on you, or just an unnecessary part of movement. Like, why would his thigh do that? I don't really get it, but okay. So going down to the leg, he does get a wide range of a split. He can kick up, and that was the problem I want to talk about. But he can kick about that far up, which is pretty high. Going back, get a nice range back. Well, this is the problem I was speaking on, is that he has a T-bone, right? And on his T-bone, it's a male peg, and then it goes into a female for this joint right here. This joint will continuously fall off. It happens on this, and it happens on my other one. Now, it doesn't just fall off with ease, but once you start moving the leg either up or down, you're going to have it fall off. I don't know why it's so easy to fall off, or not made in a better form. It's definitely better further as durability, not worried about it breaking, than the Sentinel. So in the Sentinel version, that was a huge problem on that entire figure, was the fact that the peg joint in the pelvis was extremely weak. And once you turn the legs, what ended up happening is that instead of the joint turning, the peg itself turned and it twisted apart, and your legs fall off and your toy is broke. And that's why I had to buy a second one. So this is kind of like a 50-50. It's good that it's durable, but it's bad that it falls off so easily. Now, you can swivel the thigh, upper thigh, up there, and it works pretty well. Get about that far forward. Almost get a full range going back, so it works. All right, now coming down to the knee, you get a really nice range. Nicely done. It's almost designed kind of like the PlayArts Kai, the better kneecap versions, but really nicely done there. It looks really good as well. I actually like that whole collapse with the knee joint. Looks really nice. Going down to the foot, get about that range going up, that range going down, and I believe his foot it's on a hinge actually. So it's on a hinge / peg. So the hinge is clearly the part that's causing that. Now in his toe joint, he does have a hinge here. Goes up pretty far, and it can actually go down. Really, really nicely done, and it's not loose. And like I just said, leg repeatedly falls off. You just have to apply some pressure to put it back on. So that is, like I said, that's one of my pet peeves, or one of them that's in this figure articulation. Now, my overall thoughts about this figure, if you just have to have, you know, a DevilMan figure because you couldn't get the Sentinel one at the time, go for it. If you just really, really have to have it, or you just really love the design and you just have to go for it. But the overall better figure, in my personal opinion, will still be the Sentinel one. I still feel that the Sentinel version is more superior, even when it deals with that crappy pelvis joint that they had, because it was so good that even though that figure broke on me, I went out and bought a second one. It was a must. I was going to buy one regardless, whatever the situation was, because I really, really liked it. I really, really enjoyed it, and it definitely was worth owning. Now, the thing about this one, I have two. I'm going to get rid of one of them because I don't see the need of having two, because I don't like it that much to want to keep two. Not even for photography reasons. I just don't really care for the figure. Now, just to kind of give you an idea, that's how big his wings is. Now, the problem with this figure is that his wings is so heavy, and his feet, it's not necessarily tiny because they're proportionate, but the feet, and there's no real weight distributed in the legs. So outside of that pose you see me doing, you're not going to be doing too many poses. It's going to be really simplistic, just because the wings weight is pretty ridiculous. Also, his tail, for him to be a later release, and you can use Sentinel as a kind of a base idea of how you do or don't want to do your DevilMan release. What I didn't understand is that Sentinel gave you a wire in the tail, which worked great. Still works great. Never had a problem. Works amazing. This tail on this particular figure does not have a wire. It's just soft rubber. So the tail actually doesn't serve any real purpose to actually help you pose him wearing his wings. Where on the Sentinel version, the wire in the tail not only gave great action poses, it actually served the purpose as keeping balance, because one, the wings are somewhat heavy, not that heavy because they're a little bit smaller, but they was really well sculpted, really well painted. They actually gave you two set of wings. They gave you some smaller wings to kind of display him so you won't have holes in his back, and they just look really nice. And then they gave you full-fledged wings to kind of give him that full flying look. The choice on this was a 50-50, where on the Sentinel version it actually had hinges. On this version it has a peg system / a hinge, and it just works. Well, swivel rather, it works better on this when it comes down to holding its place. On the Sentinel it didn't really hold its place, but it was way better crafted on the Sentinel version. So when it comes to wings, I still take the Sentinel over this one due to the fact that it has more likes, in my opinion, than this one. Now, the only thing that this one has that the Sentinel did not have, and it probably was my second only real problem with my Sentinel version, was his feet design. His feet design looked amazing on the Sentinel, but because where the pegs sit, you couldn't stand him up. You needed his tail to actually hold him up, because if you pose him too many times, eventually the pegs on his feet just couldn't support his weight, and they kind of collapsed on themselves. So that was a really big problem when it came down to the Sentinel. But you did have a stand that came in the box, so you didn't really have to worry about that. This figure did not come with a stand. So when it comes like to I said accessories, you see you only got practically nothing. You got an extra set of hands, whoop-de-doo. You got his wings, which that's given, supposed to be in a box, and you come with a tail, which supposed to come in a box. On the Sentinel version, you had 2 set of hands, which was really well crafted, was really well painted. You got 2 set of wings, small and large, which was really well painted again and really well crafted. And then you had a actual dead villain, which was Jinmin, which was extremely well painted and well sculpted. So you got all of this great stuff in the box. Now I can't remember exactly the cost. I think it was like 150, or it might have been more than that. I think it might have been more than that, possibly. But that figure was really well done. So I'm gonna be honest with you, if you still looking for a great DevilMan figure, if I honestly had to make a choice, and like I said, I'm not being cruel, I'm just being honest, I would do the Sentinel. This figure was cool. It's cool to have because I don't never get enough of having DevilMan figures, but I'm be honest with you, the Sentinel just overshadows this one drastically, in my opinion, due to the fact that the paint job on the Sentinel one looks much better, and then they just gave you much more. So you got your money's worth, or at least to me, I feel like I got my money's worth when it came to the Sentinel, to the point that I want to get another one. Where this one, I don't really care about having the second one. Honestly, if I wasn't such a DevilMan fan, I probably wouldn't care to have neither one of them. I'd probably just sell both for the same figures, just because the Sentinel version is just that much more better to me. But that's my review. That's my thoughts on this figure. Hopefully this review helps out. You may have a different opinion. You may love it. If you do, awesome. If you don't, and you feel like me, like I said, I would definitely, if you don't have a DevilMan figure, search for the Sentinel version. You might be able to get it for an actual good cost. And to be honest with you, because that Sentinel version is a lot older, I'm pretty sure you can get that Sentinel version for the cost of this version nowadays. So, yeah, there's my answer. Y'all have a good one. Take care and continue to collecting shits.